I'm about to tell you something that still leaves me questioning what is real and what isn't. This happened to me and one of my friends. Even now, 2 years later, I get chills just thinking about it. I know how it sounds, and if I were you, I probably wouldn't believe it either. But I swear, every word is true. 2 summers ago, my friend and I went camping in a spot out in the deep country. We like going there to get away from real life. This place had it all: hiking trails, zip lines, and a lot of history. Native American lands, old settlements, that sort of thing. The first night was perfect. Families at other campsites, campfires everywhere, kids laughing. We cooked hot dogs, roasted marshmallows, cracked open a few beers, and chatted with the people around us. A typical, peaceful first night. The second night was different. The staff told us we were the only ones booked in the park. At first, we were psyched. A whole campground to ourselves sounded peaceful. We spent the day hiking, fishing, taking it slow. At one point, we sat by the river and listened to a scary podcast, just for fun, leaning into the spooky atmosphere. By sunset, we were tired, a little buzzed from beers, feeling good. We decided to head to the park's information center, charge our phones, grab snacks before it got dark. That's when the unease started. The woods felt different. The air, heavier. The sky had a weird twilight tint, like the forest was holding its breath. My friend turned to me and said, "Doesn't this feel off like we're in a dream?" And he was right. The forest felt endless, stretching in every direction. My chest tightened. I couldn't shake the feeling. We weren't alone. We didn't talk much after that. Just kept walking, glancing over our shoulders, expecting to see something lurking in the trees. Back at camp, we stayed close to the fire. We didn't need to talk about the feeling. It was an unspoken agreement to pretend everything was normal. We roasted marshmallows, played music, even smoked some weed to distract ourselves. By the time the sun fully set, our surroundings grew darker. The unease intensified. Around 9 p.m., we heard a loud noise. A bang, as if a tree had fallen, from the direction of the river, maybe 100 yards away. We grabbed our flashlights, shined them toward the sound. Nothing. No movement. No glowing eyes. Just the forest swallowing our light. Minutes passed. Another bang. Louder. Farther off, but with the same heavy weight. We shined our flashlights again. The woods swallowed the beams, letting us see only the trees surrounding our tent. Then a third bang. Closer. Our hearts pounded. Whatever it was moving toward us, circling the campsite. And then, the fourth bang, maybe 20 yards away. Panic hit. The high from the weed was gone. My friend's eyes were wide, reflecting the firelight. Mine mirrored the same fear. We agreed to get into the tent. We scrambled, throwing the last of the firewood onto the fire, hoping the flames would keep it away. Inside the tent, I dropped flat to the ground. My friend moved a little slower, behind me. Just as he was about to step fully inside, the loudest bang had happened. The ground felt like it shook beneath it. He froze, staring into the dark. I called his name. He quickly jumped in, muttering, "It's standing there." I asked him what he meant. "I don't know," he said, voice trembling. "It's like a wall of darkness." He sat by the zipper, clutching the only weapon we had, a small knife. Useless really, but it was all we had. Then came a low vibration, like a hum, but not just sound. It filled the air, our bodies making our chests tight. We couldn't move. Stayed like that for what felt like 5 minutes. Then a guttural, alien-like noise. Something like nothing we'd ever heard before. We froze. My small mesh window sat right above me, but I refused to look outside. Too terrified, silent, trying to control our breathing. Then the strangest thing happened. In the middle of all the chaos, we blacked out. Neither of us remembered falling asleep. When we woke, we were lying in the middle of the tent. My friend was still clutching the knife. I woke on my back, panic gripping me, feeling like something had been standing over me. First thought, check my phone. Dead. My friends, dead too. Fully charged the night before. We stepped outside to pee, standing back to back, still terrified. The forest was pitch black. Air cold still. Food left on the table, untouched. Fire burned down to ash, like it had never been touched. The entire place felt wrong, like we shouldn't have been there. We waited out the night in the tent, not saying much, just trying to sleep. Packed up in silence the next morning. Not a word until we were in the car. Once we started talking, we realized we both felt the same thing. Watched, hunted, like something had been waiting for us to slip up. We told my other friend about it later. They thought we were crazy, maybe imagining things. But whatever it was real. We both experienced it. We never saw it fully, but it wasn't human, and it wasn't natural. We haven't gone back to that camping site since. We probably never will. This happened last fall. A few friends and I decided to go camping. Not in a national forest, not a marked campsite, just a random spot we found, deep in the woods, far off any official trail. We started the hike around 4 p.m., carrying heavy backpacks, food, water, sleeping bags. At first, it felt like an adventure. Quiet, peaceful, no one around, just trees stretching as far as we could see. The air was cool, a mix of pine and damp earth. Every step on the leaf-covered ground made a sharp crunch that echoed oddly, like it lingered longer than it should. As we went deeper, the forest changed. Shadows thickened. The underbrush grew denser. That's when we started noticing odd things on the ground. A muddy, torn jacket, a single hiking boot half buried in leaves, an old camp stove rusting beneath a tree. We laugh it off. Someone probably lost stuff years ago. But inside, something didn't feel right. A cold edge ran down my spine every time I glanced at those objects. By sunset, we found a clearing, flat enough to set up camp. We pitched our tents, started a fire, cooked dinner. Instant noodles, a few hot dogs, marshmallows. Everything smelled and tasted like camping should, but each bite carried a weight I couldn't shake. The woods around us grew darker with every passing minute. Beyond the firelight, the forest was pitch black, silent, as though it was holding its breath. We sat by the fire, talking quietly, flames crackling. Every small sound made us pause. The rustle of leaves, the occasional snap of a twig. I kept thinking about possibilities. Maybe someone was out there, lost like us. Maybe a hunter. Maybe someone dangerous. I couldn't tell if it was animals, pranksters, or something else entirely. Around 12:30 a.m., it happened. A scream cut through the darkness. Sharp, high-pitched. A woman's voice, raw and panicked. It bounced through the trees, impossible to locate. I froze, every muscle tight, heart hammering. My friends were quiet, too. None of us moved. One muttered, "That's close." And then my mind exploded with possibilities. Someone hurt, lost, a trap, a criminal waiting for prey, or something else, something we couldn't understand. We whispered to each other, trying to reason, but there were no trails, no houses, no other campers, just a forest stretching endlessly. The scream could have been miles away, or it could have been right behind a tree, waiting. My stomach churned. The woods felt different after that. Every snap of a branch, every whisper of wind, every rustle of leaves sounded deliberate. Sometimes the sound seemed far, sometimes close, almost like it was following us. Shadows moved at the edges of our firelight, quick flashes impossible to catch. Every one of us saw something, and none of us was willing to point it out. Then, an hour later, came a gunshot. It exploded in the night. Not far, not near, but everywhere at once. The sound vibrated through my chest, rattled my teeth. Birds erupted from the trees, screeching, wings beating the dark like frantic warnings. We dove to the dirt without thinking. My mind raced. Was someone firing at something? Or at us? Was the scream and the shot connected? Were we witnessing something we shouldn't have been? We killed a fire. Darkness swallowed us completely. The tent suddenly felt thin, paper-like. Every sound outside, a twig snapping, a branch groaning, made us flinch. I could feel my heartbeat in my ears. matching the crunching of leaves just beyond the tent. Time slowed. What felt like an hour might have been 5. Then it happened. Heavy, deliberate steps, crunching the leaves outside. Circling. Not random. Not far. Close. I held my breath. Chest tight. Afraid to move. Every possibility ran through my mind. What if it's someone hunting us? A criminal? Or someone hurt, needing help? And we're trapped in the middle of it. Minutes dragged. Nothing moved. Then a rustle to my left, right at the edge of the tent. My heart leapt. I swear it left my chest for a second. And then, silence again. By the first hint of dawn, none of us had slept. The forest seemed normal again. Birds didn't call, but we had changed. Every nerve alert. Every shadow suspicious. We toured down camp in minutes. Not speaking. Not daring to look back. Later, one of my friends called his uncle, a former deputy, to tell him what happened. His uncle didn't even wait to hear the full story. You shouldn't have camped there, he said. He explained that this stretch of woods had a history. Campers disappearing. Screams reported at night. Gunshots heard in the forest. Once a group vanished entirely. Tents left standing. Food half-cooked. Belongings untouched, but no people. Before hanging up, he said something I'll never forget. If you hear a scream out there, don't wait. Leave. Some things aren't meant for you to find. And that's exactly what we did. This happened with me just last summer. I couldn't believe how quickly a fun camping trip turned into the kind of nightmare you only hear about in warnings or true crime stories. This happened back in 2023. A group of 4 of us decided to go camping. Not in a national forest, not at any marked campsite, but in a place no one really knew about. Deep woods, far from roads, far from anyone else. My friends, and I wanted to feel isolated, to feel like we were the only people alive in the forest. It sounded fun at first. The hike to our spot was easy at first. Sunlight spilled through the trees in warm patches. Leaves crunched under our boots. Birds chirped high above. We laughed, took photos, joked around. Everything felt ordinary, safe even. I thought about how perfect it was, that kind of calm where you almost forget you're in the middle of nowhere. Then, not too far along the trail, I saw them. 3 men, sitting together on some fallen logs, playing cards, or at least it looked like that. Their clothes were dark, rough. Their posture screamed danger. I froze. My stomach tightened. Something whispered, "Go back. Turn around. Leave now." I told my friends quietly, "We should go back. Something feels off." One agreed, shaking his head slowly. The other friend laughed, said we should keep going. And we did. By the time we found the clearing we planned to camp in, the sun was low. Long, strange shadows stretched through the trees. We set up our tents, gathered around a small fire pit. Smoke curled lazily. The warmth felt comforting, but every few seconds, a prickling on the back of my neck, like someone was staring at us. I shook it off, told myself I was imagining things. Then came the footsteps. Slow, careful, deliberate, clear, close enough to feel each step through the ground. My heart jumped. I looked around. The 3 men, our earlier watchers, were not far, standing silently, watching. I whispered to my friends, voice low but urgent. Their intentions, they're not good. I can feel it. They nodded, but no one wanted to admit it. No one wanted to leave. So we sat, pretending everything was normal, pretending to enjoy the fire. But the feeling of being watched never left. Half an hour passed. Then, 2 more men appeared from the woods, talking quietly, but their eyes never left us, just staring. And that was it. That was when we all agreed we could not stay here. The danger was too close, too real. We needed a plan, but we couldn't show fear. Not yet. I grabbed my phone, lifted it like I was filming a vlog, and spoke loudly like a YouTuber would. "Hey friends, we're exploring deeper into the woods tonight. Gonna find something cool. We'll be back soon." I laughed, played it like it was all fun. The men were close enough to hear, and I hoped it made them think we weren't afraid. We even left our bags, some supplies, near the fire pit, as if we'd return later. Then we moved, laughing, joking, pretending everything was normal. Even as our hearts raced, every twig snapped underfoot, making us flinch. Step by step, we put distance between ourselves and the men until we were far enough to run without being seen. We ran. Every step, panic. Every sound, branch snapping, leaves rustling, felt like someone following us. My lungs burned. My legs screamed. But we didn't stop. Not for a second. Not until we saw the car. We reached it. Relief washing over us. But then, I saw it. One tire. Flat. My heart sank. I tried to keep calm, reminding myself it wasn't over. We changed it, hands shaking, dirt smeared on our clothes. The sun almost gone, shadows thickening around us. Then we heard it. A heavy thud, like a person falling, followed by running. Quick, heavy footsteps toward us. The hairs on my arm stood up. I grabbed the keys. We jumped in, started the engine. Then came the sound gunshot, ringing in the air, cutting through the night. I slammed the car into gear, praying we were fast enough. We didn't stop, driving blindly through the dark forest trails, until finally, the dense trees thinned and we reached the main road. We didn't speak, just kept going until the lights of the town appeared. Safe, or at least as safe as we could be after what had happened. We went home that night, all of us shaken, hearts still racing. But even now, I can't forget it. Every shadow, every step behind us, and the knowledge that somewhere in those woods, the men could still be waiting, still watching. Because some places in the woods aren't empty, and sometimes they're never safe.